Alright, y'all boys, we're back again with another video. It's Thomas Sowell again, and this time he's breaking down a term that I've only ever heard him say: black rednecks. What are black rednecks? You know, when you say redneck, you think of like ghetto white people, okay? Ghetto country southern white people. That's what you think of redneck. Redneck hillbilly, you know, driving a big ass truck, pushing hay. You know what I'm saying? Driving a tractor. You feel me? So what is a black redneck? What does that mean? Let's see if I agree or disagree.
I strongly suspect the person who wrote the review never got that far.
Black rednecks, who are they?
These would be blacks who came out of the southern culture and who carried that culture with them north into the urban ghettos and into the ghettos of the south for that matter. And who have not moved out of that culture since. Over the years, both blacks and whites have moved away from that culture. But in the poorest and worst of the ghetto areas, there are lots of people who have not. And these kinds it's a culture which didn't do whites any good, and it's certainly not doing blacks any good today. And the tragedy is that people regard this culture as somehow the authentic black culture, and therefore you're not to interfere with it. It's to be allowed to, and so they're cheering people on. It reminds me of a scene in the Blue Max where this general is encouraging this daredevil pilot to do all kinds of wild stunts, you see, knowing that the guy's going to kill himself if he keeps doing this, and therefore the general will be rid of a political problem. Now,
whoa. That is an interesting analogy that he just said. Hold on. He said a general keeps egging on the pilot to keep doing daredevil stunts, that knowing that he will kill himself, and it'll get rid of a political problem, assuming the pilot is the problem. Comparing that to people who promote the black redneck, or like the ghetto, the bad sides of black culture, who promote that and push that as if that is the culture. Because, okay, I see what he's saying. Because there are a lot of negative aspects of the culture, right? There's a lot of negative shit that we push onto everybody, the kids, women, men, everybody, right? Whether it be drugs or violence or whatever bullshit. All in the name of having fun, woo. There's a little bit of nihilism in the black community too, where it's like, everything's fucked up, everything's a white man's fault, we're not gonna get ahead anyway, let's just do what we want to do while we still here, we're gonna die anyway, doesn't matter, let me drink Henny, let me go out and drink every weekend, for some people every day. Let me just waste my money on bullshit. Let me go get me a Hellcat and skirt. You dig what I'm saying? Like a lot of bullshit, bro. And it's not gonna lead you nowhere. Yeah, I like the analogy because that's true, bro. It seems like there's a song by Killer Mike called Reagan, right? It's about the war on drugs, Ronald Reagan, and there's a line where he says, "And we just sell the children death and pretend that it's exciting. We exploit the youth. We tell them to join a gang."
We should be indicted for bullshit we inciting. Selling children death and pretending it's exciting. We are advertisements for agony and pain. We exploit the youth. We tell them to join the gang. We tell them dope stories.
I don't think that the white liberals are doing this deliberately, but I think the net results are the same. They are cheering blacks on and doing things that are absolutely self-destructive.
Yes, the white liberals. Yes, the white liberals. Oh my gosh, every fucking time. If somebody say, hey, this behavior that some black people are doing is not good, here come a white savior liberal, a white liberal savior to come, no, it's okay. They're just misfortuned. They're just a result of their, inequality. They excuse bad behavior because if a minority has victim status, right? I mean, you see it all the fucking time. I mean, even with Jordan Neely, the homeless dude that just got killed by the dude, I don't agree that it was good that the guy held him in the chokehold for long enough to kill him. That's wrong. But I don't have a problem with somebody subduing him because he was acting crazy, and he's been acting crazy, got a history of acting crazy, hitting people, assaulting people, pushed somebody on the train tracks, all that. And he was threatening them that day. Someone held him. They subdued him. Multiple people was trying to hold him because he was acting crazy. I don't have no problem with that. But he has a problem that the dude killed him though, because you didn't have to kill him. Now you look crazy because you know what I'm saying? Cool. But then these white liberals come and say, oh, they're trying their hardest to humanize and and make you feel sympathy. And there's nothing wrong with feeling sympathy that someone died, but you can't ignore it. They want you to ignore the fact that this is a violent person that has been violent and been attacking people. Okay, it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm not saying that they deserve it. Obviously they don't. You know, homeless people, drug addicts on the street. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a problem. There is a homelessness problem. There's a drug problem that is caused by the people of the past in America, and I feel like continue to be enabled today. But that doesn't mean allow yourself to be attacked and assaulted. Okay, but that's what some of these white liberals are kind of promoting. Okay, that's what they're promoting. Let yourself be attacked. It's not their fault. No, don't ever let yourself be attacked and assaulted.
What's the difference between a black redneck and a white redneck?
Color.
Same kind of people, same attitudes.
Oh, absolutely. And same kind of results. One of the things I point out in this book is that, you know, as late as the First World War, when mental tests were given in the Army, there were whites from any number of southern states who scored lower on those tests than blacks from northern states. So that anyone who comes out of that culture is likely to score lower on mental tests, to do less well in intellectual areas, whether they're black or white. Among the middleman minorities, of which the Jews are the most prominent, the hostility to these people in countries around the world is out of all proportion to any other kind of group I can think of. In terms of the violence, the number of Chinese killed, let's say, in 1 year, and by mob action, exceeds all the blacks lynched in the entire history of the United States.
What?
And the number of mob action exceeds Chinese killed, let's say, in 1 year, and by mob action exceeds all the blacks lynched in the entire history of the United States. And the number of Armenians killed in Turkey, you know, during the First World War is greater than that. Of course.
What do you mean Chinese killed in a mob? What are you talking about? But how many black people were lynched? I mean, can you even know for sure? Because how would they? You know, not every lynching was reported. You know what I mean? Not every. Yeah. A lot of times with certain numbers, I kind of assume that they're not entirely accurate. They're just as close as they could get to, more than likely. Because, you know, there's a lot of variables where shit happens where you don't know. A lot of shit is unreported, right? You just never know. Let's see. Nearly 2,000 black Americans were lynched during... Wait, whoa. Let me click it. Smithsonian Magazine. Another 2,000 black Americans were lynched during Reconstruction. Okay, that's Reconstruction. A new report brings the number of victims of racial terror killings between 1865 and 1950 to almost 6,500. So, end of slavery to 10 years before the Civil Rights era, which is Reconstruction. Damn, yeah, they was killing a lot of black people, bro. And it was probably more than that, to be honest. Just over a year after the end of slavery, Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. I wonder how many, when you think about instances like Tulsa, right? Black Wall Street, that was bombed, burnt down, massacres, you know what I'm saying? I wonder how many instances of evil situations like that happened to other people, like Hispanic people during that time period, Asian people during that time period, because there's discrimination against them too. You know, I think there was laws that were against Asian people from like starting businesses and some shit. I don't remember. So I wonder how many other people faced like massacres just like that, because ain't nobody was massacring white people en masse. Okay, nobody was doing that shit. Not in America. Let's keep going.
Plus, the number of Jews slaughtered on a number of occasions in history, even before the Holocaust, is greater than that. So that the question is, why this particular kind of people are the targets of so much venomous hatred? And I think the answer is that
why?
They not only succeed, they succeed in a way which is a threat to the egos of other people. That is, no, you can envy a Rockefeller, but he's no threat to your ego, because you say, listen, anybody can be rich if he's born a Rockefeller. But the guy who comes here, let's say from Vietnam or Korea, and arrives here with little more than the clothes on his back and a few words of broken English, And a decade later, he has his own little business, and you see his son a few years after that getting ready to go off to Harvard or MIT. You got to ask yourself, you either got to, you know, you've got to hate yourself for saying, my God, I've been stagnating. This guy was nothing, and now
I think we see that today. There's a lot of people that don't like immigrants a lot because some of them come here and they're able to get the ball rolling. They're able to make some bread, start businesses, provide for their family, and they just got here compared to people that've been here. Some people, and it's on the black side and the white side, because I've seen white people be like, "Oh, they're stealing our jobs! They're stealing our jobs!" And some people say, "Oh, you know, you should be ashamed that you let somebody else come and be ahead of you, and you're white. You've been here." Which is stupid, because there's always going to be poor people. It doesn't matter. And on the black side, we see it as, oh, these fucking Asians and these Arabs, they come to the hood and they open up their liquor stores and gas stations and shit, and they be racist and they making money off of us type shit. Which, yeah, but why haven't you started businesses? Why haven't you started a gas station? Why haven't you started to open the liquor stores and shit like that? You dig what I'm saying? Why haven't you done it? It is what it is. But there is a lack of... Nah, you know, what it is... Why? You know, I was about to make an excuse. You know, there's a lack of financial literacy, a lack of financial education. Why is the foundation so fucked up for black people, but then these immigrants come and they straight? And or at least they're able to open businesses. What is it? Why? That's something that liberals can never really answer. When you ask them that, they just say, "Oh, it's because of slavery, because of racism, woo." But how does that explain the black people that do succeed? And I'm not even talking about celebrities or uber rich black people. I'm talking about people that are black people that are able to become wealthy and provide for their family and start businesses. If they can do it, why can't more people do it? You know what I mean? I don't know. It's something that boggles my mind a lot. It really makes my brain scratch. Like, yo, why not? Why are you not able to succeed? What's going on, bro? Or at least more of us able to succeed, especially now in the present day. But again, black people I think black people are doing pretty good right now compared to back then. As a whole, you know, there's more black people making more money than before. There's more black people starting more businesses and stuff than before. But there's still a disparity in black people that are struggling. Let's keep going. Hey man, I'm just asking questions because it's stuff that I actually care about. Like, I want to know, what are solutions? What are things that people can do? What we can do to make things better? You feel me? Let's go on.
Hate him. And most people, when they have a choice between hating others and hating themselves, they hate others.
Where does the hatred for the Jews come from in history?
Number of places, but they are people who have succeeded an awful lot in the midst of other people who have not. Years ago, one official of one of the Jewish organizations in New York asked me, what can Jews themselves do in order to minimize the hostility they face? I gave him a one-word answer: fail. Because as long as you succeed, you're going to be hated.
Yeah.
Slavery
That's facts. They hate those that do good. When it comes to white people, well, I'm going to give you both perspectives when it comes to people that hate the Jews, right? Jewish people. When it comes to white people, the white nationalists, white supremacists, they see it as, oh, you know, they come here and then, you know, they all got money in their pockets and they work together with all the, you know, powers that be. They control the world, yada, yada, yada. And they're taking my rightful role. That's the white people's side. And the black people's side, they see it as, you know, they are hand in hand. It's kind of similar, but not for the same reasons. They see those powers that be as hand in hand of why black people suffer, why black people have been subjugated. You feel me? And they come over here and they're in charge of like the entertainment industries. They're a bunch of lawyers and music industry owners, label owners. You feel me? And they use black people for profit. They exploit black people for profit. And they see it as like, okay, these people are trying to control us and make money off of us. Just another white man type shit. Me personally, I don't think I got anything to do. Like, you know, I'm not gonna. Yeah, no. All I feel is that there are people in power that like to exploit people who are not in power. That's what it comes down to. Am I gonna say, oh, it's all the Jews? No, I'm not gonna say that because that's stupid. It's just as dumb as saying it's all black people do this, all white people do this. It's stupid. But there are people in power. that exploit the people who are not in power.
Much bigger and involved infinitely more people than people have realized. It was not confined by race. It was not defined by race or created by race. It existed for thousands of years. A history professor had a student come up to him and ask him, when did slavery begin? He said, you're asking the wrong question. The question is, when did freedom begin? Because slavery existed as long as we have any records. And from archaeological
Well,
finds.
I know, so he used to be a professor. He used to be a professor. I know they will kick his ass out if he was a professor nowadays, boy. A college professor, university teacher, hell nah. They would not be going for it.
We realized that people were enslaving other people before they could read and write. So that's always existed.
Yeah,
and
it's the rule of the strong, bro. The strong gonna survive, bro.
The world. The number of white people enslaved by pirates in North Africa was greater than the number of Africans brought to the United States. You know,
What?
and yet...
He said the amount of white people enslaved by African pirates was greater than the black people that were brought to the United States. Whoa, bro, what is he talking about? I have no idea about none of this. Let's see. White people enslaved by African pirates. Let's see what pops up. According to Robert Davis, between 1 million and 1.25 million Europeans were captured by Barbary pirates and sold as slaves in North Africa. Whoa. But that's North Africa. Oh no. Were they white people? I spelled people wrong. Don't worry about it. I mean, were the pirates were black? What is it? Who are Barbary pirates? I don't know them people. Let's see. Let me type in Barbary pirates. Okay, that looks like other white people. Or Ottoman. Or mainly Muslim pirates. Okay. Yeah, because the Arabs... Okay. Berbers are Arabs and other Muslims, but some came from Christian Europe. So some of them are white. Some of them were Arabs. So, okay. See, look, I'm learning new things every day. According to Robert Davis, between 1 million and 1.25 million Europeans were captured by pirates and sold as slaves in North Africa in the 16th and 19th centuries. Okay, between the 16th and 19th. So, how many slaves were shipped to America? From the 1500s to the 1800s, merchants transported approximately 12 million. Well, okay, but that's not to America specifically. That's in total. Which, yeah. More black people were enslaved. Okay. Oh, hold on. PBS is trustworthy. 100 amazing facts about the Negro. What the fuck? When was this written? Originally posted on The Roots. Interesting. Where is it? Where's that number I just seen? Database. And I want y'all to appreciate the fact that I'm looking stuff up. I don't care if it's in the middle of the video. We're gonna look shit up, nigga. We're trying to learn. We're here to learn, right? 12.5 million Africans were shipped to the New World. 10.7 million survived the dreaded Middle Passage, disembarking in North America, the Caribbean, and South America. How many of these 10 million Africans were shipped directly to North America? Only about 300,000. That's right, a tiny percentage. Damn! So that means millions went to the Caribbean, millions went to South America. That's why there's a lot of, Afro-Latino people, right? Because a lot of just, got mixed. A lot of black people was brought down there. South America, so it's Venezuela, Brazil, you know what I'm saying? Chile, them type of places. Interesting. Yeah. And then slavery was abolished in 1807. So that's why in America, there was a lot of breeding. There's a lot of inbreeding. They bred a lot of slaves. Phew. So isn't that crazy that a lot of black Americans come from a total of 300,000? Damn, it's crazy. Diagram of a slave ship. Oh my god. That's crazy. That's crazy. I didn't know that. I didn't know it was a whole. Obviously I knew it wasn't a whole like million something, but I didn't know it was 300,000 that were brought. Yeah. So wait, what was his point though? Because he said, hold on, let me rewind. Because I'm not sure what his point was. He said that more white people were enslaved by pirates than black people were brought to America. Okay. What was his point though?
Number of Africans brought to the United States, and yet that's not even mentioned in most of the discussion. So I tried to look at slavery as a worldwide phenomenon, and it's something that's lasted for thousands of years. I also tried to ask the question, why did it end? It ended here because
I understand what he's saying. He's saying he wanted to see the whole picture. I think when a lot of people, the general person in America thinks about slavery, they think about white people enslaving black people. That's why. Okay, I understand. But I mean, they're gonna talk about what's specific to America, though. You dig what I'm saying? That's why. That's why they focus on that, because it is an effect that has been had. You dig what I'm saying? A lot of things came after slavery was abolished in America too. So that's why, of course, it's gonna be a focus on black people. You could talk about public schooling in general. They don't really talk too much about what happens for anything that's outside of America, if it's not directly connected, right? Like World War II, like the Revolutionary War, like people coming from England and Europe coming to the Americas and finding Native Americans. They only talk about what relates directly to America.
Civil War, but it didn't end anywhere else because of that. It took over 100 years to root it out. And again, the literature, there's tons. You can find the shelves groaning with books about the United States, the Western Hemisphere, and Africans, but virtually nothing about the rest of it. This book about the Europeans enslaved by North African pirates came out in 2003. By 2004, you couldn't find a copy. It had, for all practical purposes, going out of print. There was just no interest in it.
Yeah, nobody cares. I mean, it's history. Only the history buffs gonna care. But I mean, what are they gonna teach that for? Muslims in the 15th to the 16th century, 16th to the 19th century, they enslaved other white people or Europeans. Yeah, why would they talk about it for? Because like I said, in the history books, from what I remember from school, they don't really talk too much about the outside world. Like I remember when I was in high school, I thought about that too. I'm like, I wonder what was going on in other countries during this period of America. Like during the Civil War, what was going on in Australia? You do what I'm saying? I remember asking that. I talked to my friends and like bringing that up before, and I didn't Google it. But that's what college is for, really, to start teaching you about other places. Because that's when you get a lot of those other classes. It would be cool to have them in high school though, because I think in other countries they educate a lot about different countries, different nations and their history. Because I remember I had an Italian friend she was an exchange student, and she would tell me about like how schooling was different.
The United States grew out of slavery, but slavery didn't grow out of racism. The Europeans enslaved other Europeans for centuries before the first African was ever brought to the Western Hemisphere. That wherever there were people that were vulnerable for whatever reason, those were the people that were preyed upon. Even though for most of history, those who enslaved and those who were slaves were the same race.
In your opinion, what has to be done in the black schools or among black students in order to bring them up?
One, you get rid of the things that are dragging them down.
Okay, like what?
You stop saying that speaking black English, is just as valid and all that kind of stuff.
Ebonics?
It maybe is just as valid to linguists and so forth.
African American vernacular?
The fact is, if you talk that way, you're not likely to get into med school. You're not likely to do very much in your life.
If you were still living 50 years from now, what would you predict the black race in this country would be?
Oh, wow.
Wiped out?
Wow.
I mean, based on trends that you've seen in the last 50 years.
It could go either way. If the current trends continue, it's going to be a disaster. But there's evidence that the current trends are not unchallenged. People from time to time ask me to mention some black conservative writers. And I tell them, 30 years ago, I could have told you Walter Williams and me. And today, I can't even keep track of them all. They're all over the place. They're in the media. They have their own shows. They write columns. They write books. And I learn about them, from nowhere. They suddenly appear. So there is this counter trend going on, and everything depends upon which wins out in the end.
Interesting. What do I think the current how black people gonna look 50 years? To be honest, bro, a lot of shit is getting bad, bro. And not even just specifically for black people in America in general. So, there's a good chance that black people are going to be very behind as a whole. There's going to be, of course, there's going to be individuals that succeed, just like there is now, that rise above. But there's going to be a big economic disparity, educational disparity with black people. Even now, like there's certain cities where black kids are not reading or doing math at a proficient level. You know what I mean? There's black kids are graduating high school and they can't read or write as well as they should for that age range. You dig what I'm saying? There's a lot of issues. There's a lot of issues when it comes to crime and poverty. And when it comes down to it too, Democrats, they like to target black people because they want black people's vote. But it's going to come to a point where black people is not going to be the main group of people that they care about. They're not going to give a fuck. They're probably going to want more. They're probably going to aim for more immigrants, to get their vote and stuff like that. But black people are definitely going to lose a lot of... Dr. Claude Anderson talked about this, actually. Black people are going to lose a lot of political power in America if shit keeps going the way it's going, if black people don't move as a unit when it comes to certain shit. So I don't know, bro. I like trying to find solutions, but it's kind of hard to find solutions, and it's hard to save a person who doesn't want to be saved. You dig what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think the most any of us could do is just try to help people in your own community. You know what I'm saying? Help your neighbor. That's where change starts, one person at a time. It's better than doing nothing. And I myself was trying to look into things that I could do in my own area, like around me type shit. Because I like talking to people. I like trying to help people get them up off their feet type shit. Because a lot of people, sometimes they just need a little bit of guidance, a little bit of words that they can understand, that they can relate to, that can kind of, kick a fire in their ass. You dig what I'm saying? But I don't know. We'll see. There's not really too much around me that I could find. It just, depends on the area. But hey, that was the video. Let me know what y'all think down below. I appreciate y'all again for watching, clicking, subscribing, liking, sharing, and hitting the notification bell. Make sure you join the Discord down below. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.